So sensory deprivation tanks are probably like the most life-changing experience I've ever been a part of or ever been able to experience. It's sensory deprivation. Sensory meaning senses, like feeling, touching, which are essentially the same thing, smelling, hearing, seeing, all of that stuff. And then you get put into this pod, like that healing pod from Dragon Ball Z, and you're in this warm water and you're just floating. And all of your senses kind of just go away. They fade away almost. And to where eventually you realize, like, consciously that you can still do these things, but that kind of takes you out of the whole motion of everything and the experience. And the whole experience, all of that stuff just leaving my body, I became this floating consciousness, this floating brain, like some Dr. Wheelo shit, man. Like I was just this. I felt like I was in space. I felt like my body was drifting through an everlasting abyss of not just darkness, but light that I was looking for, that I just felt like I could never find throughout my entire life.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Tenacious Time Podcast. It's Tenacious Time Podcast. Oh, grab your friends if you have any and come and have a great time with your host, Ricky Tenacious.
Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Tenacious Time Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Tenacious, the current reigning, defending, and youngest ever Big Valley Wrestling fighting champion. Welcome to the show. This is the Tenacious Time Podcast. Here we compare and contrast, talk about the future, the present, and past, and we make memories last. Thank you all for joining me once again for another exciting episode. We have a very special show for you today. Special not in an insulting way, because my guest today is a very good friend of mine. But before we get into that, I want to update you all on some stuff that I've been doing with my life. Recently on Facebook, I've been talking about how I was spontaneously cast as an extra in a short film being filmed at CSN. I was just chilling one day, and some guy came over to me and presented me a script and gave me a synopsis of it and told me they are filming it and they need extras, and I am a say yes to life kind of person, so I said yes, and now I am occupied for the next 4 weeks filming this as an extra, and it's been a pretty wonderful experience. Also kind of boring and kind of eye-opening on what it's really like to be an actor on a set, and being exposed to this high-quality equipment that they're using. I'm talking lights galore, cameras galore, the finest cameras, photographers, PAs, the person who did the marking person, the one that goes marker scene 2, and they do the clapping thing. Also, I'm very surprised at how many takes one has to do, or the director would order his actors to do for just one scene. There was one scene where we had to do 15 takes, all of the same thing, and we just did it until the director got what he wanted. But I mean, overall, everyone on the set is pretty awesome, pretty nice. Hopefully, once the shooting wraps, I'll be able to share a copy of the finished product with you all. Moving on to the next subject. Over the past weekend, I have had quite a busy weekend. Actually, I believe this was last weekend. Yes, last weekend. Halloween weekend, just full of professional wrestling. Saturday, I had 2 wrestling shows, one for Big Valley at the Frontier Baptist Church, and then later that day for Freak Show Wrestling as a part of the detention. At Big Valley Wrestling, I was successful in keeping my Big Valley Wrestling Fighting Championship against Greg Romero, and then Freak Show Wrestling, Funny Bone and Beast stomped the hell out of the detention, and they are definitely going to be held after school. So that's just a little update of what's happening with me in my personal life. But enough about me, because I am kind of boring, and you're only here to hear what my guest has to say. So with that, let's get into my guest. He is someone who has taken the Las Vegas wrestling scene by storm within the first year that he's been here. He is an extremely talented individual in the area of professional wrestling, video production, graphic design, gear design, and all around being a person. He is someone whom I have shared the ring with multiple occasions, and I've grown to call this man a friend. He has wrestled in promotions all around the United States of America as well as the world. He is known as a mainstay in Big Valley Wrestling, Future Stars of Wrestling. He has wrestled for promotions outside of Las Vegas, such as Arizona Wrestling Federation, multiple promotions in Michigan, as well as the well-respected Ring of Honor. Without further ado, my guest for this podcast is the next level of entertainment, Mr. Owen Travers.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive.
Definitely. I could tell. I've been waiting around to do this podcast. I'm not just talking about in the past weeks or months that we've been talking about doing this, because ever since I started doing it, you said you wanted to be a guest, and I've wanted you as a guest, and so I finally get you here. We pick you up in a limo, fulfill all of the necessities that you required for being on the show. You need to be picked up in a long black limo, full of women, of course, with the best video games. We drop you off here, and then as soon as you get in here, you go into one of the many rooms inside of my luxurious studio, and you've been playing Sonic for the past 4 hours. And
not just any Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, and I have to tell you, I'm very, very impressed with this place. This looks really, really nice.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm sure you've probably been on your fair share of podcasts and other radio shows, and I mean, most of them are just, you sit in someone's like living room next to their dog on their crumpy couch. It's so unprofessional. But this is not that. You have espresso machines on both sides of you, multiple rooms, bathrooms. One of the bathrooms is upside down, like the toilet is upside down. I don't know if you've tried that, but it's a pretty fun and also very dangerous adventure to take part in. We have a kitchen, catering, basically everything that your heart's desire. So I definitely hope you're enjoying the Tenacious perks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is awesome. I mean, who has a toilet that moves through the ground and then comes right back up clean again? That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's mind-boggling almost. Yeah, it can also get pretty messy, but I mean that's kind of just the fun of it, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about, get our viewers and listeners a little more in depth on the career of yourself, Owen Travers. How I understand you've been in the business for how long now? 5 years?
Yes.
5 years. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. You were speaking. I also forgot to mention in that little opener about my busy weekend. There was the FSW show on Sunday, that Halloween show with that gimmick battle royal, and you came in there as Booker T.
One of my idols, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like as a kid you practiced the spinneroonie every day,
yep, absolutely,
in hopes of being Booker T.
Yeah.
You nailed that shit, man. And then I got to go in there as Al Snow with Head, because there just happened to be a mannequin head laying around at the office of FSW.
Yeah.
Of the many things that you could find at FSW. But yeah, as I was saying, you've been wrestling 5 years now. You've been all around the world, and somehow some part of your life led you to Las Vegas, Nevada. So we kind of want to get into just what exactly brought you to Las Vegas and what you were doing before then. So I understand you were trained by a former Ring of Honor executive and very world-renowned trainer, Truth Martini, at his school, the House of Truth. World-renowned school. He's trained many great superstars that have gone to do many great things, you being one of them. So just tell us kind of what you did before you decided to pursue wrestling training professionally. I understand you did some backyard stuff before, or if you could call it that. You did some stuff before you, I guess, what professionals would call getting professional training. So just kind of update us on how you really, where it all started for yourself in wrestling, and then what brought you to the House of Truth.
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to continue to eat this sucker until the gum comes out, because I really, really enjoy this sucker right now, Ricky.
Okay.
Just give me 5 seconds.
Okay. Leon Hader should be here. Sucker Free Nation.
Great guy.
Fun fact, I beat Leon Hader just, like a month or two ago.
Great guy. So, yeah. To say the least, my start in wrestling was shitty. I say that because being as young as I was 18, and I decided to run my own wrestling promotion in Michigan, and I called it Extreme Slam Unleashed Wrestling, XSU. And I had such a drive for it. Neighbors, like my like a few of my friends who were my neighbors down the street and down the block somewhere, they would always come and hang out with me, and I told them that I was into wrestling. And then I went to the International Academy of Design and Technology in Michigan, and I studied game production and digital media. And at the same time, I was still pursuing professional wrestling and still doing it the not so right way. And what happened was I brought all my friends in. That's where I met my buddy Lathan Clemens, best friend since 2007. We went balls to the wall with this promotion, and we made it happen. We started wrestling in my basement, and then from the basement, we would wrestle on mattresses and shit like that. And then we built this thing. You heard of like the Hell in a Cell and the Elimination Chamber, cage matches, shit like that. I made this thing called the Torture Chamber.
Oh.
It was just a bunch of weapons inside the basement, and it was all around the mattress, and I constructed this chamber made of wood. It was literally blocked off on one side of the basement. That's it. And when we did the torture chamber matches, we would just lower it down because it used to hang up from the ceiling. And all we did was just take the string and slowly let the string down as it slowly, at an acute angle, come down and fall into place so we can have that torture chamber match.
Mattress basement weapons is sounding a lot more like a video you would find on the dark corners of the internet, Owen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was a pretty fun time. Pretty dark time, too. We would piss my mom off because the music would be so loud.
Yep.
Our entrance videos were just WWE entrance videos from the game, like SmackDown versus Raw 2007, 2008, and stuff like that. And we had strobe lights, different fog machines and whatnot to make things happen. Try to make it look, real, I guess.
Hey, can I just ask you, when you were doing those entrances and you came out, did you act like there was an actual audience in your basement?
There was an actual audience in our basement.
Oh, shit.
It was 4 of our friends. My ex-girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend's ex-girlfriend, my best friend's best friend, and my friend.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Afterwards, we just got tired of doing all that shit in the basement, so we decided to take it outside. We had it in the backyard, and then I found a ring for $1,200. I was gonna use that to buy a car, but instead I ended up buying a wrestling ring, 16 by 16, and it was 21 inches off the ground, I believe. And we trained in there. Out in Detroit, and we ran XSU for about a year and a half outside, and right then and there people started getting upset. Like, these are the actual the big guys, the guys who've been in this business for so long. There's guys like Caleb Stills, there's Austin Mannix, there's Movado, there's tons. Jamie Cox, if anybody who's really, he really hated me. Eventually, Truth Martini went to train some of these guys, and I literally got pissed about that. And I told Truth through a message. I hate you. You shouldn't have done this to me, yada, yada, yada. And mind you, I was just so stupid and I was young. And, Truth didn't, Truth just kind of like brushed it off aside because he knew I was in the wrong. And the greatest thing about Truth is that he cares, but to an extent, he shows that he doesn't care. And it's just weird, but...
Definitely showing he's been through so many experiences in the business. He knows what's right and what's wrong and how to handle certain situations.
Yeah. And eventually I met Briar Wellington, and XSU was still running. This time we were in a building. We were at Landmark Community Church, and we were running shows every week doing storylines and stuff like that. And I still thought I was the best in the business.
Really?
Yeah.
You went out in public and were like, I'm the best in the business, baby.
Yeah.
Gotta go to WWE and all that good shit.
Yeah. The whole 9 yards. I had banners made. We built this, the entrance, had a ramp. We had everything. Lights, fog machines, Titantron with entrance videos, custom-made entrance videos from me graduating from IADT, and I had the know-how to make all these videos happen.
And I can honestly support this because you've shown me a lot of your work because you've done work for Big Valley and FSW and other promotions, and pretty much anywhere you go, you're always there to lend a helping hand with your talented abilities. And I've seen the stuff you did with XSSU, and I was honestly impressed. I mean, for a technically which was a backyard promotion with untrained wrestlers and that kind of a setup. There was staging and lighting and everything. You guys had themed shows like that Biohazard one with all those lights and smoke. That was really impressive. Like I'm pretty sure any backyard promoter or a person looking to do something like you did would probably kill to get a set like that.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's that? Ricky Tenacious has... What is she, Asian? Chinese? Something. She's awfully beautiful. She just gave me a cup of water. I needed that. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes.
So,
yes. Just 1 second. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Head go! Back down! Sit down! Just 1 second, man. Head go down!
What the fuck?
Sorry, Aaron had hired some new employees, and I don't make large sums of money podcasting, so we kind of have to cut our expenses short with immigrant employees or whatever. So yeah, you were saying it's a lovely cup of water there. So yeah, what were you saying?
Holy shit. Okay, Briar Wellington trained me a little bit for about a few months, and he saw so much potential in me. He told me, you can't do this. You're going about it the wrong way. You can't run your own promotion because this is not the way to go. And I believed him. He told me to seek actual training. And around that time, Ring of Honor was having a seminar, a tryout, and out in Bristol, Pennsylvania, and I decided to just go ahead and just pay the money to get that seminar through. I already had the I already knew the basics with Briar, so I figured, why not? Let me go ahead and try out for Ring of Honor and see what would happen. By this time, I was a year in. I wouldn't even count that as a year. I don't consider myself counting my years back in 2008 to 2016 now. It's when I was trained at the House of Truth. That's where I started, which was around 2010, 2011. So going to the Ring of Honor seminar, Truth saw me, and he actually enjoyed the way I handled myself, and him and we had a conversation. I apologized to him for everything that I've done, and next thing I know, I'm in his school, and 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. till 10 p.m., I was just busting my ass in his school, training, trying to be the best that I could be. I ended up graduating, and after 3 months, I was on my way. Then I started going for different shows. This is where I started knowing that there are other promotions in different cities and states. So I'm at Viper Pro Wrestling, and I'm at Pro Wrestling All-Stars. I'm at Pure Pro Wrestling. I'm in XICW. I'm in TWA, all over Michigan. And eventually I met Jimmy Jacobs. My first thought about Jimmy Jacobs, I honestly thought, okay, maybe this guy wants to slit my throat or something, because I'm sitting down at Viper Pro Wrestling in the back. We're in the back, and I'm shaking hands, introducing myself to a lot of the guys, and there's Jimmy. Introduce myself to him. Hey, how's it going? My name is Owen. He goes, nice to meet you. I'm like, okay. I know everyone fucking hates me because I was that guy who said he was the fucking best from running his own bushwhack backyard promotion, and now we're fucking here at Viper Pro, and I don't know what to expect. Maybe the guy who I'm getting ready to step in the ring with might actually knock a few teeth out of my mouth. But
shit like that catches up, man. Yeah, especially like when you least expect. That's why when you say stuff to the wrong person or they take it the wrong way in this business, you have to apologize.
Oh yeah,
like that's just basic etiquette right there.
Yeah.
There's the handshake, introducing yourself, and carrying yourself through the locker room the way you want to be treated. Oh, and if you don't apologize at the right time to the right person, whoever it may be, that stuff will catch up to you.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and like, going off from that, like, Jimmy was just, he was just this guy who was just sitting there, maybe 50, 60 feet away from me, and he was just reading a book, and then I realized he was smiling. I'm like, what is he smiling about? But he's looking into his book, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's something funny in his book, and then he just slowly looks up at me and smiles again. I'm like, oh, shit. What?
I can imagine his eyes. His eyes would probably freak you out the most, like him,
probably,
or just like anybody in that position really. That's reading the book, smiles, and then looks. I feel it wasn't even his head, just his eyes.
Yeah,
looking at you.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Head down, eyes up, like, oh shit. Like, okay, I should leave. But I thought nothing of it afterwards. Eventually, I go back to the House of Truth Wrestling School. And I was asked to become an assistant trainer.
Ooh.
And I've helped Truth out for 2.5, maybe 3 years being an assistant trainer. And at the same time, I was getting along with Jimmy. And I was actually out on the road with Jimmy, going to Chicago for AAW and IWA Mid-South.
And Truth was there, yeah?
Truth was with us at the time. Yes, definitely. Being able to just sit in the back seat, knowing the rules of the road, and knowing more and more about the business of professional wrestling, I'm just having a closer relationship with Jimmy Jacobs and Truth Martini. And I can honestly say it's the best decision I've ever made in my life, because if I did not meet Jimmy or Truth, I would not have been here today. Like, I would probably still be either doing the backyard bit, or I would probably be working at some burger flipping restaurant, or who knows, I might be a shitty limo driver. Who knows?
And you probably wouldn't be here today either.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't even be here today at all. But that's pretty much the backstory of the House of Truth and whatnot. And I moved out to Vegas because of my mom. My mother's health was getting bad. And with her acute asthma and chronic asthma and acute bronchitis. She has asthma and bronchitis.
Oh, boy.
She could not stand another winter out in Michigan. So she moved to Vegas. I moved out with her. And here I am trying to make things happen.
Awesome, man. That's a very compelling story. I mean, you got definitely a lot of details there. And I can kind of relate in some way, because I, fortunately, as a young child, me and my dad me and my dad's relationship is solely based off wrestling. I mean, not just him being my dad and me being his son, but wrestling has always been what we've had like the most in common with. We ever since I can remember, every Monday night sitting down together watching Monday Night Raw, and and then when I was at my mom's house on the weekends, I'd watch SmackDown, and wrestling just really fueled my imagination. I bought all the figures. I knew what I wanted to do. I remember telling her, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to WrestleMania. I'm gonna go to Royal Rumble one day, win it, and then go to WrestleMania, be in the main event. You're gonna be right there. It's gonna be awesome. This is my set goal, and hopefully that happens one day. Fortunately, my mom won't be there because she passed away when I was young, but my dad hopefully will be there. And I joined amateur wrestling at a young age, and then my dad knew, and he liked pro wrestling just as much because he was in the business for a while with Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and he likes to build things. And this guy seriously built me a ring in my garage, it was this little 12 by 12 ring, but of course with the turnbuckles coming in, it became like an 11 by 11 or 10 by 10. It was really small, but I was just a kid, it was big to me, and it was a flat ground one. It was all wood for the frame, and then some padding and some ropes. And
wow,
yeah, he manufactured that thing really awesome. Like he had a blueprint for it and everything. It was crazy. And even as just to start from that idea, the inception of building an actual ring was he likes to save money, and I, as a kid, liked to buy action figures. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you have the action figures, you have to have the ring. You got to have the ring to put your action figures in and play with.
I actually built one.
Yeah, I was actually just about to get to that. And you can tell your story before me. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's just it. I built a wrestling ring.
Yeah, my dad, he was like, you know what? You're not going to buy one. I'm going to make you one for like under $5. And that's exactly what he did. Got some wood, got some rope, made this awesome thing, man. It was so much fun.
I can honestly agree that is possibly the best way to go, because these Jack Specifics wrestling rings are like, being a professional wrestler today, like you're in the ring and you're in a 20 by 20 and looking from corner to corner. It's a pretty long run to get to the other corner. Mm-hmm. And you have these action figures, and you put you visualize yourself as that action figure looking across that corner, and it's just two steps. That's it. Yep. So yeah, I went to Home Depot, Ace Hardware, and built my own ring from wood. I used these 9-inch. They're not nails. They're these 9-inch screws, I suppose, as turnbuckles, and then I used rubber bands as ropes to bounce them off, and I just printed out different logos and made those as aprons. So
that's what I should have done. I think the only improvement I could have had with my ring, he even made like a replica canvas. Like he took some fabric and then put some to be more realistic, he put some cotton under that the padding.
That's good.
And then put it on there, and I think he drew like some, I don't know, like LVWA, Las Vegas Wrestling Association, some stupid stuff like that. But had I had access to a computer, I totally would have printed out some stuff and like made my own little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also used to. I had like a whole setup in my closet. Like I had the ring, and I used VHSs as like the guardrails or the barricades. Sheesh. Built my own entrance.
Yep.
Took old pieces from the cage, the toy cage, and kind of made like an ECW thing with that. Mm-hmm. Got a camera and did like stop motion stuff. Of course, I didn't know how stop motion.
Stop motion?
The thing is, I didn't even know how I just watched a lot of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
And so I assumed that I just needed like a camera, and I just press record and stop and record, and that never came to any fruition.
That's fucking awesome. I used to mimic every WWE Raw and SmackDown, even pay-per-view events.
Yeah.
Remember when Raw had these? I guess their screen was kind of slanted a bit.
Yeah, Spike TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom,
and they had like that
Raw.
broken glass on
Yeah,
the...
they were just hanging.
Yeah,
I built that. And remember SmackDown, it had the fist.
Yep, the fist.
I built that. I just used aluminum foil as the reflection of the glass to make the entrance of SmackDown. And they were like actual size replicated entrances. They probably went up to maybe 4 feet high. And then I broke the door off my basement. And I used that big ass door, laid it down, and made a ramp out of it.
Wow.
And they never had the elimination chamber at the time. And mind you, I had this big ass ring, so I thought, fuck it, I'll build an elimination chamber. When Eric Bischoff came out with the chamber, I was like, I want to make something like that, and I did. I just took spray paint, sprayed something black, and just built this big ass chamber, and then I hung it at my ceiling, and then I would use that sound effect when the cage comes down, that doom 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 doom, and the strobe lights are fucking flickering, and I'm just slowly letting the string down as the cage slowly comes in. But as soon as it touches the ring, I gotta hurry up and kind of like situate it so it doesn't fucking fall apart.
You gotta run over to one side, run back to the other.
And there it was, like, I made it happen. We're fucking nerds, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So yeah, I before I get into that, actually, not even before that, I used to be such a fan of D-Generation X, the second version, 2006, with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, because I loved their theme music. I loved everything about them.
Yep.
And I had both their figures, and so in my room, what I would do is I would have them in the ring. Actually, no, I would have them come out of my closet, like an open little closet door. They come out of that, and I had like a little sign over that. Mm-hmm. And so I would go over to my wall, and I would do this. Are you ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. To bow to the master. Break it down, down. Like, if someone was on the outside, they'd think I'm fucking delusional or some shit like that, dog. Like, seriously. But I did it every time I would play with the DX action figures, dude. I had to do it because it fulfilled the experience.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I didn't know what to do with pyrotechnics. I tried to take a hockey stick. I broke the stick in half, and I used the top end of the hockey stick, and I would slam it at the top part of the vent because it's very hollow. If you hit it hard enough, it sounds loud. It sounds like a gun had went off or something. And I would use that for pyrotechnics. And I thought that was pretty cool. Then I took it a step further, and I almost died that night.
Uh-oh.
I built the Great American Bash Arena. This is actually when The Undertaker buried his best friend Paul Bearer, God rest his soul, buried him, I think it was in that big-ass tube or something.
Oh, don't tell me you tried to bury yourself.
No.
Okay.
But the entrance, the way it looked, and it was around the 4th of July. I was like, you know what? Let's make this happen. I had my cousin sitting in the next room. He was still sleeping. I would wake up at 8 in the morning and just do these wrestling shows. And I had sparklers, Roman candles, and all these ridiculous fireworks sitting in my basement.
Such hot fire.
I set them all up. I connected them all together with this long wick that I have. And I played the promo as the promo happened. And now WWE presents the Great American Bash. And right at that moment, I let off the wick with the lighter. And then everything started firing off. Fireworks, all that stuff. And a lot of pow, 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 sparklers. And it was amazing. And I didn't realize upstairs was shrouded with smoke. And my mother came home, and she was pissed. So, almost burnt the fucking house down.
And delivered probably one of the most vicious ass beatings you've ever gotten that wasn't in a ring.
No.
Oh, really?
She was actually so pissed she just went to sleep.
Oh, okay. It was one of those.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, Owen, what the hell? Out of all the fucking things you've ever done, geez, this fucking bullshit wrestling dumb shit, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah,
okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's great. Okay. we've gone pretty in depth in your career already. I'm definitely after this little fun conversation about our childhoods, we can definitely agree that if there's anything that the WWE has done, or pro wrestling in general, it has lit a fire under the imaginations of little boys and girls all over the world. There's even guys like older than teenagers, like in their 20s, that are doing backyard wrestling and still playing with toys. I know even this might be embarrassing because I'm a champion or whatever, but I keep all of my action figures, and every now and then I will go and I'll grab 2 of them, and I'll kind of act as if it's 2 like actual wrestlers having a match, and it'll actually get my imagination going for moves that I want to try to do or some shit like that. Like, you can call me a kid, you can call me whatever you want, okay? But I love my action figures. I love playing with them. They help my imagination.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say more power to you, more fucking power to you, because critics will be critics, and if people have something to fucking say about it, kiss our ass, like. I just bought the Green Ranger doll. Like, it's still in this fucking package. I want to take it out. I just want to fucking play with it. I want to make those sound effects with it and shit that. I want to just fucking play with them. But I don't, because I'm so fucking busy. I want to make a collection. I'm a cosplayer, so the fuck what? That's what makes me different. What makes me stand out from everyone. And that makes you stand out, Ricky. Like, you have your fucking toys. You want to continue fucking playing with them. That's your fucking thing.
My life, I'll do what I want with it.
Yeah.
And if that helps me, which it does, then so be it.
Yeah. Fuck.
At least I'm not out buying drugs or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yes. And then on this, you said something that lit a memory, because I remember we had talked before in the back at one of the BVW shows, and you said do something that makes you stand out. I remember you referring to, I think this was actually on your podcast, because you were talking about your podcast that you did with Joe, and you talked about I forgot exactly what you were talking about, but you were talking about how you want to be that guy that stands out in wrestling, and the way you can do that is just basically on the way you look. That when you go places and people look at you, they say, that guy does something for a living.
Yes. That's something I actually learned from Truth.
Yes.
You have to look larger than life. You don't want to look like your average next door neighbor. You should, like, I can honestly look at guys like Sin Bodhi, like a guy with tattoos all over his fucking head, and I'm like, huh? And then there's who else? Marcus Burke.
Yeah, Marcus Burke.
He's got this beard. Joe Graves. Like guys like that. They stand out. They look extremely odd. You're like, what the fuck does this person do for a living? That's what's making them stand out in the wrestling, in the wrestling business. So,
speaking of that, I recently just attended a seminar at BVW with Cody Hawk, who trained Dean Ambrose. He's also a trainer in Ohio or Idaho. I forget, but it's one of those. But he's a really well-known trainer, really guy full of knowledge. He's trained some really big names, that not just Dean Ambrose. That's kind of just at the top of the list, like you could say. And the seminar, I don't really want to say it stood out or anything, but at the end he kind of did like an evaluation of everybody. And he told me, dude, you're really fucking good. Like, your shit's really solid. You know what you're doing in here.
That's awesome.
But the thing is, the only thing you really have to do is just get in the gym and get muscle on you. And, we are athletes, and I tried it with the time I have. I try to go to the gym. I try to do something physical when I can. But I have to agree with him, because, as a champion, I really wish I was bigger. I have my sole base or fundamental wrestling skills from amateur wrestling that always helped me get by. And then, a few other tactics, like Kane and some other cool stuff. I pretty much agree with him. I think that being in shape physically is also a really big part of it. You can have colors in your hair, you have tattoos on you, but I think what solidifies it was just kind of the main sculpting of this imaginative figure is the physical body. Yeah, so
I don't necessarily what I'm getting ready to say is not out of cockiness, it's more of confidence. I'm confident. Once I get the look that I want, I would have, like the looking shredded, if you will. I would have so many opportunities because it's honestly not the moves that you do in the ring. Like
It's how you do them.
it's not even that.
Okay.
It's more of and I'm not speaking for everyone because everyone has a difference of opinion. But if you have you just need these major things: a look,
Yep.
charisma,
Yep.
knowing how to work,
Uh-huh.
and knowing how to talk on a mic.
Yes.
Those are the four major things in my and that's what I want to achieve. And if I achieve the look and knowing how to talk on a microphone, I honestly think that I would be somewhere.
Yep. I can't really disagree with it. I mean, I'm just now I know like Jace Battle and Kevin Cross and a few other wrestlers
Don't
in
get
the
me started
area.
on Kevin Cross.
All right.
Goodness
I don't intend to, but
that man's a monster, and that man is just too damn good. Go
on. Yeah, they do promos all the time, and I'm just now starting to kind of join that party. But I don't think I'll be posting them as frequently as they do, but I definitely now have this whole vaporwave thing, and that I got a lot of positive reviews from on my last promo, and I assure you the next promo will just be not only just as, but probably more vaporwave than the last.
I like your Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, thank you. Pledge allegiance to the Vape Nation, one nation for which we vape every day, baby. Bang, bang, represent.
Wow.
Yeah. And promos, that Vaporwave thing was not just a combination of just some internet memes I was seeing, but also I enjoy retro things. Mm-hmm. And no one's really doing like a retro promo. Like I know Jace Battle, he kind of has that deteriorated film, old Kung Fu Fury esque theme to his promos, but no one does really that colorful vaporwave thing that I'm trying to do. And it works because vaporwave, I vape, and I'm trying to be retro and I'm trying to be more colorful. It's just something I'm doing to stand out. Mm-hmm. So I feel like doing that, and not just I enjoy doing it because I'm be able to impose my creativity on it, and because I'm the one who kind of directs all those promos. Mm-hmm. Just like with this podcast, it's all about me getting it myself and my guests, people that I've met throughout the world, and speaking our opinion and just saying it and then letting people think whatever they may about it. And that's kind of what promos are. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it, some people are going to feel very encouraged to do something of their own from it, and some people are just going to be asking what the fuck was the point of that. And so it's just kind of all about taking risks and taking chances and doing what you want to do, and kind of just let it take it where it may take you. So on that little chopped up note there, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Owen is going to be playing the 60-second challenge, as always, here on the Tenacious Time Podcast. We'll also be doing another game called Story Time, where Owen is going to be telling a random story that he picks from the Hat of Tenacity. And then we're also going to be talking about his recent return to Future Stars of Wrestling, and as well as the golden question that we have on every show. So stay tuned, and for now, listen to these awesome messages. See you in a second. Hey everybody, this is Ricky Tenacious with the Weekly Wrestling Update, where I remind all of you about the upcoming professional wrestling shows coming up here for the month of November in Las Vegas, Nevada. First off, Saturday, November 12th, Big Valley Wrestling comes to Calling All Nerds. Calling All Nerds is an event for all and any nerds. So if you like cosplaying, if you like watching TV, video games, things on the internet, anime, all of that fun stuff, this is the event for you. This is a free event full of fun for any and all nerds. There will be games, cosplaying, music, live entertainment, special guests, and more. There will be a meet and greet for the wrestlers at 1 p.m. The wrestling show will start at 3 p.m. The convention starts on the 11th and goes to the 13th, so this is an all-weekend thing. It is a free event once again. This all takes place at the Western Event Center, which is formerly known as the Western. It's right on Fremont Street. Please come out and support Big Valley Wrestling. We're going to give you a hell of a show. Speaking of Fremont Street, just down the way, Saturday, November 13th, at the Fremont Country Club, Lucha Libre Las Vegas returns for its second show. It'll be a fantastic time. Definitely a good way to spend your Sunday afternoon. 2 p.m. is the start time, $5 for kids and $15 for adults. This event will feature Lucha Underground star Willie Mack, WWE star Sin Bodhi, CMLL star Puma King, as well as all your favorite stars such as Funny Bone, Bestia, 666, and many, many more. I strongly urge you all to go out for this event. It'll be a fun time. I will be there. I'll probably be refereeing as usual. And lastly, we have Saturday, November 19th, live at the Silverton Casino. Future Stars of Wrestling returns for another fantastic action-packed show. They present Against All Odds. Start time is 7 p.m. There will be a meet and greet at 5:30 p.m. This event features the 25-man Rumble, where the winner faces Kevin Cross for the FSW World Heavyweight Championship in the main event that evening. So I hope you all plan on attending at least one of the events this month. I will be wrestling November 12th at Calling All Nerds. I will be refereeing November 13th at Lucha Libre Las Vegas. And Saturday, November 19th, I will be announcing once again. So I hope to see you all there. Please make an effort to go. You'll have a great time. Thank you very much. Now, back to the Tenacious Time Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Tenacious Time Podcast. As I said, we're getting into some of our regular segments here on the Tenacious Time Podcast. Once again, my guest is the next level of entertainment, Owen Travers. So without further ado, let's go and get into the first game. This is called the 60-second challenge, where you have 60 seconds to complete a certain task. Today's task is going to be, you have 60 seconds to name as many video games as you can, because you obviously love video games, because you're in the room for 4 hours playing Sonic. And if you win, you just kind of get a pat on the back. Okay, so I'm sure you're very well encouraged about this. So 60 seconds are on the clock. Name as many video games as you can for pretty much every topic I've done for the 60-second challenge so far. I think the most anyone's ever been to name on their topic is 10. So let's hope you take it to the next level. But
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So 60 seconds are on the clock, and time starts now.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Okay.
2008, 2009, WWE 2K15. WWE 2K16, 2K17, The Last of Us, Uncharted 1, 2, 3, Batman Arkham City, Tekken's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Tag Tournament, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Walking Dead, the video game, BioShock, Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, 3, 4, Portal 2, BioShock Infinite, Mass Effects 1 and 2, Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, Modern Warfare, God of War 3, Batman Arkham Asylum, Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rayman Legends, Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and...
Wait, what the fuck? Are you looking at this shit on your phone?
Huh? No!
What the fuck is this bullshit? You motherfucker!
I'm not looking at it.
Yes, you are.
No,
it's right here.
No, I wasn't.
Dog? Are you serious? I'm over here tallying this shit like a fucking bastard.
Well, I win.
Making me look like an asshole.
60 seconds are up. I win.
Bullshit. Hey, this 60 seconds shove it up your ass, bro.
How many was that?
That was like, I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't want to count, okay? That was fucked up, bro. I'm over here like, holy shit, this guy's got to. Wait a minute. You douche. You douche.
That was the best game ever.
Okay, well, that's not the only game we play on this show. We have another one. It's not really a game. It's more of just a segue in how we get you to expose more stories about your life. Because if there's anything we like on this show, it's stories. And that brings me to the name of our next game, or segment, I should say, and it's called Story Time on the Tenacious Time Podcast. Using the Hat of Tenacity, this is a hat full of suggestions that are topics for stories such as first date, worst date, worst experience you've ever had in a locker room, best experience, stuff like that. So it's all completely randomized. You're going to pick two. And you can choose one of them, or if you'd like, you can do both. So without further ado, here's the hat, and take your pick. We got one.
Can I pick another one?
Mm-hmm. And then go to read them aloud.
A really bad date.
Okay.
If you had a chance to do over your life or a part of your life, how would you do it?
Okay, so you can choose one of them to do, or you can do both if you'd like.
How about a really bad date?
All right, I'm with it.
I'll put this back in the hat.
Yes. So, Owen Travers, this is the story of Owen Travers on a really bad date. So, let's hear it.
Okay. So, you ever heard of this thing called Plenty of Fish?
No, please explain.
POF. It's a website, a dating website.
Okay.
It used to be free, but now they're asking people to pay extra money just to make your free accounts more upgraded, a premium. There's always something with dating sites, which is why I don't do that shit anymore. But I met this girl from plentyoffish.com, and her name was Laura. Thinking nothing of it, Laura seemed like she was a very nice woman. She would keep her responses very minimal online when we're chatting. And one day I just asked, hey, maybe would you like to, grab something to eat or something, and let's go bowling. I haven't been bowling in a while, or shoot some pool. This was back in Tennessee when I was in college, and I've been to 2 colleges. Eventually, her and I ended up meeting up, and we went to go play some bowling. And I ended up popping the big question. I asked, "Are you a fan of professional wrestling?" And she goes,
Here we go.
She goes, "Isn't that fake shit that you see on TV?" So I'm like, okay, tell me something, what is your favorite movie? And then she goes, oh my God, I absolutely love all the fucking Saw movies. I'm like, did you know those fuckers are still alive? Those people who were fucking dead in the movies, they're fucking still alive? Now, how fake is that shit? And then she got really offended about it. So I'm like, okay, we need to chill out just a little bit. Let's continue playing some bowling. You know what? I'm out halfway from this last strike. Let's just end this game and let's go ahead and go bowl. Let's go shoot some pool. Because she said she's really good at fucking pool.
Here we
I'm
go.
like, all right, let's see how good you are, because my geometry is pretty fucking awesome when it comes to playing pool. I'm a pool shark. So we get there to billiards and we start playing, and then she asks a big question. She goes, hey, so how do you feel about motorcycles? I'm like, I absolutely love motorcycles. And then our motorcycle conversation went to basketball to football to hockey to me asking her if I were to get hurt in the ring or something, or if I were to get seriously injured or just fall on my head or something, what would be the biggest thing, what would be the best thing that you would do? And she said, I have no idea. I probably would laugh. Like, you would laugh at me getting injured? And she's like, Well, yeah, because I like laughing at people who hurt themselves. I'm like, what are you, some kind of sadomasochist? Do you enjoy eating yourself? Do you enjoy hurting yourself? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, so why would you laugh at me? And she really didn't come up with an answer. So she ended up asking me the same thing. This is where shit got real. This is where shit really hit the fan. And the aftermath of this, I was really proud of. And after this, okay, I'll just go ahead and fucking tell you. She asks the same question, but she kind of flips it up a bit. She goes, if I were to be driving and I got killed in a car accident, what would you do? I said, I will go to fucking Namek and I will gather all 7 of those Dragon Balls and I will wish your ass back to life.
Hell yeah.
And she said, what?
Oh.
You never heard of Dragon Ball Z? She's like, who?
Check, please.
Ricky, I kid you not. One arm, without even fucking looking, I smacked that fucking 8-ball into that corner pocket and I won the game without even looking. And at the same time, I said, we're going the fuck home. You are done. And as soon as I dropped her ass off, I took off. I kept driving and I ended up back in Michigan. I'm like, how the hell did I get back here? She ended up calling me the next day and was like, hey, I really enjoyed our date. Can we do it again sometime? And I hung up.
Wow, that is a interesting story. Wow. Yeah, so one of the main reasons, I wouldn't say main reasons, but one of the reasons we're friends, because we have a lot in common, not just wrestling, but is our love of Dragon Ball Z, because, I mean, how do you not like Dragon Ball Z? And I shit you not, I literally actually had a similar experience recently. It was not on a date, but there is a girl that I go to school with who I find quite attractive. And I ended up getting to sit with her. I went over to her and said hi, and she was like, would you like to sit down? And I said, hell yeah, I'd love to sit down. So we start talking and kind of just getting to know each other so I can take some mental notes in case like I want to do something for her in the future. And so we kind of talk about our interests. And I'm kind of just like a cut to the chase kind of guy. Like she was kind of just giving straightforward answers. She wasn't really elaborating a lot of things. I'm someone who elaborates on things. Like I'll ask a straightforward question, and if you ask me a straightforward question, I usually like to elaborate. Usually, I have stories that branch off to other stories. And so she goes, "Well, so what do you do like on your free time?" I was like, "Well, I do a podcast." She goes, "Oh, that's cool." It's like you know where this is going. I edit videos. She goes, "Oh, that's really cool." And I do professional wrestling. She goes, professional wrestling? Tell me more. I was like, well, it's like, you ever watch WWE? She goes, oh yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I'm familiar with the memes, like the John Cena memes, and I'm well aware of what it is. I was like, oh, she goes, that's pretty cool. It's like, well, like, do you like it? You know, do you watch it? She goes, well, I watched an episode of Raw and I thought it was really stupid. And I go, oh, so do you just not like WWE, or you just don't? She goes, I'm just not into professional wrestling. It's like, all right, that's fine. You know, no one's perfect. I mean, you can't, you know, everyone has their own opinions. I mean, you know, I don't want to, you know, make professional wrestling dependent on whether or not I pursued this girl. And so then we get into anime, because she has some anime themed writing utensils in her backpack. And we talk about Death Note, because she liked Death Note, which is a huge plus. And so, of course, here comes the golden question. So, I assume you've watched Dragon Ball Z. She goes, yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Z. It's pretty stupid. Well, scoot chair out. You have a good day, and I will see you in class. And I didn't really do it that abruptly, but that was like a huge... You know the song by Bon Jovi, You Give Love a Bad Name? And it's in the chorus, shot through the heart! Yeah,
that used to be my theme song.
Yeah, that's badass, bro. Yeah, that like those lyrics like went through my head, and I was like, oh, this sucks. I mean, she's super hot and super cute and attractive, but you know, like when you just fly, I would have much rather her just say, like, oh, I've never really watched wrestling or Dragon Ball Z before. then at least I can fucking, in an effort, maybe show it to you in the future sometime or work off something else. But
real quick, I cannot stand ghetto women.
Oh boy.
Okay? At first I didn't understand what the hell she was talking about, but eventually, going on when it came to Dragon Ball Z, I ended up mentioning something I said, my life is like Goku. Like, I have the personality and characteristic like Goku because I'm very sweet, and I don't like to fight unless I actually have to. And then she goes, what's a Goku? And not only did that get me upset, every time she would talk, her hands would always do this, and her hands are all over the place. And I'm like, are you talking in a different language with your hands? What's going on? And then eventually, she just kept like, throwing dabs and whatnot. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you dabbing? She was like, I'm dabbing on these motherfuckers like Sway Thompson. And I'm like, all right,
oh boy.
Okay, goodbye. And I fucking ran. Because dabbing, it was cool when Sway did it. But not everyone else has done it. Now it's just like, ugh.
TJ Perkins.
Well, TJ Perkins, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's got a good theme song. So, enough talk about women, because women are in our lives every day, I'm sure. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, because we've been talking for almost an hour now.
I know, I'm going to hook up with your Asian chick here, by the way. Go on.
Oh, yeah, not just one, man. We got a room full of them. And a boat.
Huh.
Yeah, anyway, so recently you returned to FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling.
Yes.
Local promotion here, been around for 7 years now. I'm the announcer for that promotion as well. I've been having a really good time doing that. And recently we haven't seen you in FSW. And at the recent FSW Silverton show, I believe, Moment of Truth, you made your first appearance there, and I believe in like 2-3 months. And you cut a very heartfelt promo. Or I wouldn't even call it a promo. I
was just about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a promo. I think it was more of it
was me airing my grievances.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way to put it. So you did that, and now you are back. You recently competed in a 6-man tag match. I believe you did some stuff before that as well. And I'm sure you're hell bent on finally getting the win or the pin and the big 1, 2, 3 you've been looking to get. So how do you intend on doing that? I mean, I'm not trying to impose any disrespect on you. You're a very talented individual. I've seen what you can do in the ring. You've seen what I can do in the ring. We've been in the ring together many times before. But you see wrestlers all the time, whether it be from an injury or a personal issue or just because they need to regroup, which I'm sure what you've done, and they come back and they say, well, this is what I'm going to do different. What are you going to do different? What are you, Owen Travers, going to do different that's going to prove useful in you getting a win? Because, I mean, anyone can take a break, regroup, and come back, but sometimes, I mean, there's new talent coming in and out of the wrestling business, especially here in Las Vegas. It's like just wrestlers being born every other month, like Chris Strong recently debuting at FSW, DeShade, who recently debuted in BVW, Shaggy McLovin, he's coming up, and so just going. What do you plan to do? What is your game plan?
Well, I already found the game plan, and during my hiatus with FSW, I did do some soul searching, and I found things about me that I did not even know. And it's actually running. I don't want to get too much into it right now, considering the consequences about what it could be. Like, I can't even choose the words carefully because it's just, when I was gone from FSW, I not only found myself, I found something else. And that something else led me to somewhere where I never thought I would be. And being there is actually better than being here physically, because where I am now, as opposed to where I was not too long ago, it transpires. It just kind of reflects back on what is currently happening. In time, I will just explain all that. But I've had the time to find myself, and I realized that when I got in that ring and FSW, Joe DeFalco, they gave me the opportunity to say something on the microphone, everything I said was in fact true. I came out here to Vegas with very little money to spend, and just like every other wrestler who's trying to chase their fucking dream, most of us are homeless. And I had the chance to sit back and reflect how Joe DeFalco, Benny Diamond from Big Valley, pretty much anyone who has helped me out thus far in Vegas, because of you guys and because of the fans of professional wrestling out here in Vegas and wherever the hell they are, they have helped me so much. They have supported me to the point where I must continue fighting to stay strong. And what could you expect in the future of Owen Travers is exactly that. You will see what I see, and that is the future.
Wow, very interesting and mind-boggling words you have there. So, yeah, definitely. I look forward to what Owen Travers has in store for the future. And sometimes when I think of the past or the present of the future, I kind of just like to stare in the mirror and tell myself that I am the future. And I feel like that's how every wrestler should approach their dreams and their goals.
Don't ever call yourself the future. I say that because where I am now, I don't consider myself the future. Don't even consider yourself the past. Consider yourself the now. Because what's happening now is what's going to open doors for you in the future. So continue to chase that path. Don't become something that hasn't happened. Become something that's already happening now, and just make it better.
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. I was actually going to segue into something like that, but you worded it like totally different, like totally way better. You worded it way better. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the last question I have for you on this podcast. This is actually, I think now to date, it's probably going to be like one of the longest podcasts I've done so far. I usually just like to keep it like no more than an hour, but I mean, you've been a pretty interesting guest, and you've revealed some pretty in-depth details about your life and your journey to coming to Las Vegas, Nevada. So this is a question that I ask pretty much all of my guests that come on the show. This show is about exploring the different careers of the different careers of the guests that I have on this show. I've had teachers, I've had people that have worked for Warner Bros., I've had actors, I've had filmmakers, now I've had professional wrestlers. It's been a really good time being able to what's what I'm looking for here. It's been really good having a guest that I can really relate to. I've had Young Boy on here, and I feel like most of the people I bring on here are really good friends of mine that I feel I know pretty well. Mm-hmm. And then after this podcast, I feel like I know them even better. So this is a question that really opens me up, that really opens not just the guest up about their life and their career, but also opens up themselves to me and lets me get a better idea of what it is they've gone through and what's almost shaped how they've gotten to where they are. So the question is, in the area of professional wrestling, what has been a really good day on the job and what has been a really bad day on the job?
To start off with a very bad day on the job. A really bad day on the job.
And when I say really bad day, it can be, it doesn't just have to be like some big altercation you got in the locker room or just like a sad day as a wrestling fan. It can be a day where you went to work and you just didn't feel motivated because something happened, or a day that like the bad side of the professional wrestling business was exposed to you.
Well, there was one time where I was just fed up. I'm only been doing this for 5 years, and I've been told so many times, man, with someone who's been doing this for 5 years, you really are fucking good. And I appreciate I appreciate that coming from people who always said that to me. But it was just one day at a show where I was just so fed up because it was just drama here, drama there, and I would pitch in ideas to help out towards the show, and it just never seen the light of day. It was to a point where I was on the back burner, and I got so upset about it. Being that the guy that I am, so humble, where I just show up in suits, tie, nice dress shoes, beautiful watch. I walked into the show with a Hawaiian shirt on, a wife beater, is that what they call it?
Tank top.
Why the fuck do they call it a wife beater?
Because most husbands that beat their wives wear tank tops.
So a good day on the job. No, but seriously, I had, Hawaiian shirt, I had the tank top underneath, and I had these raggedy ass shorts on, had some sandals with socks on. I know people are just disgusted by that in Vegas, but I don't give a fuck what they think. And I had a Twizzler in my fucking mouth, and I just didn't care. I was just rolling my bag, and they go, oh, no, what the hell, bro? And I'm like, I'm fucking done. That was a bad day on the job. And it's rare that you see that of me. If you see that part of me, then you should know something is wrong. A good day on the job was actually, for the first time in my life, I had the opportunity to be on the opposing side of my trainer, Truth Martini, as he managed Hakeem Zayn at XICW. We had a 2 out of 3 falls match, and Truth knew that I could not win the XICW Lightweight Championship. But the first fall happened during the first round. Truth saw an opportunity because he saw that I was beating the hell out of Hakeem Zayn. I had the upper advantage. This was an XICW. This was actually last year before I came to Vegas. And Truth took his book of truth, mind you, that's a heavy ass book, and he smacked it against my upper back. And Hakeem Zayn got disqualified, which gave me 1 point. And right then and there, Hakeem Zayn, he just put the boots to me. He was beating the shit out of me. Every move that I had, he countered. But there was one thing that I knew he could not counter, and that was out of desperation, which is a move that Jacob Austin Young currently uses, and he does this move really well. It's called the Sling Blade. And I caught Hakeem Zayn out of nowhere from the corner. I literally hopped up off the mat, ran, hit the Sling Blade, pulled the inside leg, 1, 2, 3, and I became the XICW Lightweight Champion, 2 falls to none. And my mother was in tears. I was in tears. It was just a feeling like no other. If I could get that feeling again, that feeling to go into, whether it's FSW or Big Valley or hell, Ring of Honor or WCWC out in Oregon. If I could just have that opportunity one more time to capture gold like that one more time, that moment, that's just something that I would cherish every single day. I wouldn't call that a good day. I would call that a great fucking night.
Wow. Awesome, man. So, sure, in 5 years, it sounds like you've had some great experiences traveling with Truth Martini and Jimmy Jacobs, who is now a head writer for WWE.
So proud of him.
Definitely. All the success you've had and how you've used all of your talents and your knowledge to not just help promote yourself, but also the promotions you've worked for, the friends you've met along the way, the enemies, and this is just the start, really. And as you've been talking about, this is just the beginning of the future, you could say, which hopefully looks bright for you. So with that, I had a few other questions I wanted to ask you about your time in Ring of Honor, and also I actually expected that you were going to say for the Really Good Day, most of the fans of you know that recently at Money in the Bank for WWE, you made an appearance as the doctor, actually the first African American doctor ever on WWE at a pay-per-view, I believe.
Titus O'Neil kept going on about that. The only African American doctor in the WWE. I mean, I'm sorry I had my PhD. And then, I appeared on Raw and SmackDown, or just Raw, rather. That was a lot of fun. But my time in Ring of Honor, I had the opportunity of taking on my best friend, Tenacious Thomas, the guy who also knew Capoeira. And when he went to MMA, I had the chance to use what he used, Capoeira, because I'm pretty experienced with that. And other time at Ring of Honor was I really feel shitty about myself, but I beat a 75-year-old blind man in the ring. He had the crowd going so much, tick tock, tick tock. They call him Father Time, and the crowd was just so into him. They loved him so much because they supported the fact that this man was legally blind and he's 75 years old. He could still work, and he had that time that time submission, which is this devastating sleeper hold. And I was just so fed up. This was honestly 2 weeks before I moved to Vegas. I got out there and I beat the fuck out of him. I shoved my boot so far down his damn throat. I can't describe the feeling, the feeling that I had in my bones as I was just beating the fuck out of this old man. I'm like, shut your fucking mouth, tick this tock, tick tock, beating the shit out of him, and people were just so fed up with me. They booed me so much. I didn't give a shit about that because I was just fed up. I was just fed up with everything that has transpired in my fucking life. I used it all on that 75-year-old black man, and he found a way to counter one of my moves, and he put me to sleep. And I was told by Brian Gorey, the senior official of Ring of Honor, that I was sleeping standing. And I lost that match. That is actually on one of Ring of Honor's DVDs. Despite that being a dark match, they said, we're going to put that on DVD. And they did. So.
Well, I honestly, I usually have like some overviewing
Oh,
comments.
shit. Super Kicked just followed me. I'm going to get booked, hopefully. Go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, usually I have usually some closing and concluding comment that's an overview of what we've talked about for the past hour and 15 minutes now. But I mean, that was just so passionate. I'm just going to have that be the closing comment. And that's Tenacious. Owen, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have you on here. Hopefully we'll have you back on here in the future, as we've been referencing a few times this show now. I'm sure the future is bright for you, and the present is... I don't want to say that. Future is bright for you, and I mean, every time I look at my beautiful BVW Fighting Championship, I always remember just how bright my future really is and how bright my whole life is.
Cherish each moment, brother.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you all for listening very much, and I will see you guys next Monday. Take care now. Bye-bye then.